Welcome back. Please like, share the video, and subscribe to the channel.
Good morning, I'm Alex. Today, we are looking at a major development in automotive safety from Hyundai and Kia. They have just introduced a new system called Vision Pulse.
Good morning, Alex. This technology is quite impressive. Most safety systems today use cameras or radar, which need a clear view of the road. But Vision Pulse is different. It uses ultra-wideband signals, or UWB.
That's right. Because it uses radio signals instead of cameras, the car can actually see through objects. It can detect a pedestrian or a bicycle, even if they are hidden behind a large truck or around a sharp corner.
Exactly. The precision is also incredible. It can locate objects within 10 centimeters, even from a distance of 100 meters. This could prevent thousands of accidents in crowded cities, where buildings often block a driver's view.
Another interesting point is how this will be delivered to drivers. Since many modern cars already have the necessary hardware for digital keys, Hyundai and Kia say this can be added mostly through software updates.
It's a very efficient approach. The system talks to other devices, like smartphones or smartwatches, to predict a crash seconds before it happens. They are calling this cooperative safety.
Currently, the companies are working with international regulators to make this a global standard. They hope to have Vision Pulse integrated into their new cars by the 2027 model year.
It is a significant step forward. By reducing the need for expensive external sensors, they are making advanced safety features more accessible for everyone.
Thank you for that analysis, Jamie. It will be interesting to see how this changes our city streets in the coming years.
Definitely. Back to you, Alex.
Good morning. Today, we are discussing an important technological update for the upcoming SpaceX Crew 12 mission.
Hello, Alex. That is right. NASA has confirmed that the February 11th launch will feature a new AI system called AstroLinguist.
This software is quite advanced. It is designed to turn speech into text in real time, even in high-stress and noisy environments.
Exactly. Currently, technical static and loud background noise can make communication difficult between the crew and ground control. This new AI filters out that noise, ensuring every observation is perfectly recorded and easy to search.
It also helps the astronauts work more efficiently. Commander Jessica Mayer and her team can stay focused on sensitive research while the AI automatically writes the reports.
It goes even further than simple transcription. If a problem occurs, the astronauts can ask a question, and the AI will find the solution in the station's technical manual. The instructions then appear right inside their helmet displays.
This technology is a key part of the Trump administration's push to modernize the American space program. By working with private partners, the government is prioritizing efficiency and technological leadership.
It is also an essential test for the future. As we prepare for long missions to the Moon and Mars, astronauts will need to manage complex data without constant help from Earth.
It is a significant step forward for space exploration. Thank you for that analysis, Jamie.
You are very welcome, Alex.
Good morning. Today, we are discussing a major change at the top of the U.S. financial system. President Trump has officially nominated Kevin Warsh to be the next chair of the Federal Reserve.
Hello, Alex. This news has already caused a lot of movement in the markets. Shortly after the announcement, stock futures fell slightly while the U.S. dollar gained value.
That is right. Investors are reacting to Warsh's reputation. He is a former Fed governor who often argues for a steady hand approach. President Trump mentioned that he wants a leader who focuses on growth-oriented policies to support the modern economy.
It is an interesting choice. Currently, interest rates are between 3.5% and 3.75%. Warsh is known for being careful about government spending and past efforts to stimulate the economy. Some analysts believe he might even change the Fed's traditional 2% inflation target to focus more on economic growth.
This transition comes at a very delicate time. While the U.S. economy remains strong, global trade is changing quickly. Because of this, the Senate will likely hold a very detailed confirmation process.
Exactly. Senate Democrats are already raising questions. They want to make sure the Federal Reserve stays independent from politics. However, because Republicans hold the majority in the Senate, many experts believe the nomination will be approved.
If he is confirmed, the financial world will look for a more predictable roadmap for the future. For now, all eyes are on Washington as the process begins.
It is certainly a story we will continue to follow closely. Thank you for joining us today.
We will see you in the next update.
Hello, and welcome to today's financial update. We are starting with some historic news regarding the gold market.
That is right, Alex. Gold prices have stayed above the $5,000 per ounce mark today. Even after reaching a peak of $5,500 earlier this week, the price remains at a record high.
It is a significant milestone. Why are we seeing this steady move toward gold right now?
Many investors are looking for safety as the global currency market changes. What is truly unique, however, is that both gold and the US dollar are rising at the same time. Usually, these two move in opposite directions.
This trend seems to be supported by strong activity in the U.S. debt market. In January alone, companies issued over $200 billion in corporate bonds. This is a record-breaking amount of investment.
Much of that growth is linked to the administration's industrial bond program. Under President Trump, this program has encouraged large companies to bring their money back to the U.S. to build new factories and expand manufacturing.
However, with so much money moving at once, the Treasury market is experiencing some indigestion. There is so much supply that interest rates on short-term notes have started to rise.
It is a complex environment. For regular investors, the high price of gold makes it difficult to buy physical bars. As a result, we are seeing a lot of interest in digital gold assets. These allow people to own small fractions of gold through digital platforms.
As we move further into 2026, the strength of both gold and American industry continues to be the main story.
It certainly is. The market is showing a very rare type of resilience.
Thank you for that analysis, Jamie. We will keep a close watch on these developments. Thank you for listening.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to our news update. I am Alex.
And I am Jamie. Today we are discussing a major decision from the White House regarding national security.
That is right. President Trump has officially declared a national emergency. This is in response to growing military and intelligence ties between Cuba, Russia, and China.
The main concern is a facility called Lourdes, located near Havana. The president says this site is being used to spy on American communications and sensitive military data.
During a statement from the Oval Office, the president emphasized his America First policy. He stated that no hostile foreign power will be allowed to establish a military presence so close to U.S. shores.
To address this, the president is using the International Emergency Economic Powers Act. This allows the U.S. Treasury to place sanctions on any group helping Cuba modernize its surveillance networks.
It is not just about money, though. The order also directs the Department of Defense to increase naval and aerial monitoring in the Florida Straits. They want to ensure no illegal military equipment is being moved through the region.
This move marks a significant shift in U.S. policy. It effectively ends previous efforts to normalize relations with the Cuban government.
National security advisors noted that this emergency status gives the government more flexibility. They can now react quickly to gray zone threats, such as cyber espionage and electronic warfare.
While some regional allies are concerned that this might increase tensions in the Caribbean, the administration remains firm. They argue that a strong defense is the only way to prevent future conflict.
It is a developing situation that clearly changes the balance of power in the Western Hemisphere. Thank you for joining us for this report.
We will keep you updated as more details emerge. Have a steady and productive day.
Good morning. We have important news from Washington today. A potential government shutdown has been avoided. The Trump administration and the Senate have reached a new agreement.
That is correct, Alex. This deal focuses on funding for the Department of Homeland Security. For a while, it wasn't clear if both sides could agree, but they finally found a compromise.
The main problem was about how federal agents, specifically ICE, operate in large cities. Some lawmakers wanted stricter rules, like mandatory body cameras and no more masked patrols.
Exactly. Under this new deal, the administration will receive the full funding it requested for border security. In exchange, federal agents will follow a new Code of Professional Conduct when working in urban areas. This is meant to increase transparency and accountability.
President Trump praised the deal. He said his main goal is still securing the nation, but he also supports making law enforcement more accountable.
This agreement also moves the debate over the Safe Cities program to a separate discussion. This allows the rest of the government to stay open while leaders work out the smaller details later.
This is a huge relief for federal employees and contractors. They were facing a Friday deadline, but now their jobs and paychecks are secure.
Financial markets also reacted well. Analysts say this deal removes a lot of uncertainty for businesses that work with the government.
It is a rare moment of cooperation in a very divided political environment. The bill is expected to pass quickly through Congress and be signed by President Trump tonight.
A calm end to a tense week in the Capitol. Thank you for joining us for this update.
Good morning. Today we are following a major story across the United States. A movement called the National Shutdown is causing significant disruptions in many large cities.
Hello, Alex. These protests began after a tragic incident in Minneapolis. A local nurse and union member, Alex Preddy, died during an encounter with ICE agents. This event has caused a massive public outcry.
That is correct. Now, many different groups have joined together. This includes the National Nurses United and the Alphabet Workers Union. They are all calling for a reassessment of federal law enforcement powers in civilian areas.
The impact on daily life is very clear. In many urban centers, public transit has slowed down significantly. Several major universities have even moved to remote learning because so many students and faculty members are participating in the rallies.
Despite the size of these protests, the tone has remained largely peaceful. Organizers are focusing on economic withdrawal. This means they are using their staying power as consumers and workers to demand change.
We can already see this in the retail sector. Major stores are reporting much lower foot traffic today. Sociologists say this is a new trend of direct action citizenship, where people use digital platforms to organize physical protests very quickly.
President Trump addressed the situation briefly this morning. He reaffirmed his support for federal law enforcement. However, he also noted that the Department of Justice is now conducting a thorough investigation into what happened in Minneapolis.
At this time, local authorities are working to ensure that critical infrastructure, such as hospitals and emergency services, stays fully functional.
The national shutdown is expected to end with candlelight vigils tonight. However, movement leaders warn that more actions may happen if their demands for legislative reform are not met.
We will keep you updated as this story develops. Thank you for joining us.
Good morning. Today we are discussing a significant shift in American culture. As we move through 2026, more people are choosing to spend less time on their screens. This trend is known as abstinence.
That is right, Alex. It started as a small trend, but now it is a popular movement. People are choosing phone-free social events and analog weekends to reconnect with the real world.
We are seeing this specifically in IRL, or in real-life cafes. In several cities, these cafes give discounts to customers who lock their phones in secure pouches. The goal is to enjoy the moment without the need to live stream everything.
It seems to be working. National data suggests that this shift is helping mental health. People report feeling more satisfied and having deeper friendships when they are not distracted by notifications.
Even the business world is changing. Several large companies have started Deep Work Wednesdays. On these days, internal messaging apps are turned off for a few hours so employees can focus completely on their tasks.
The government is also taking action. President Trump's administration, through the Department of Health and Human Services, recently launched a digital wellness campaign. This program focuses on helping school-aged children develop a healthier relationship with technology.
Some critics argue that only wealthy people can afford to unplug. However, supporters say that the need for human connection is something everyone shares, regardless of their background.
It is a vital balance. As artificial intelligence and social media become more common, abstinence reminds us of the value of being physically present.
Indeed, there is still great power in the human voice and a simple conversation. Thank you for joining us for this report.
Thank you. We will see you next time.
Hello, everyone. Today, we are looking at a fascinating scientific discovery from the University of Rochester. Researchers there have developed a way to make metal objects virtually unsinkable.
It is a significant breakthrough, Alex. Using high-speed lasers, the team etched tiny, complex patterns on the surface of aluminum. These patterns are so small, they are measured at the micro and nano levels.
And the result is what they call a super hydrophobic surface. In simpler terms, it repels water so effectively that it traps a permanent cushion of air around the metal.
Exactly. This layer of air provides enough buoyancy to keep the metal afloat. During their laboratory tests, the researchers even drilled multiple holes into the metal tubes. Despite the damage, the tubes consistently returned to the surface.
That is the most impressive part. Usually, if you damage a floating object, it sinks. But this material relies on the physics of the surface itself rather than a hollow middle or mechanical pumps.
Lead scientist Chun-Lei Kuo says that while water-repellent surfaces have existed for a long time, this is the first time the design is durable enough for industrial use. The air stays trapped even after the metal is submerged for months.
The potential applications are vast. We are looking at invincible lifeboats, buoys that never sink, and more stable floating platforms for offshore energy.
It could fundamentally change how we design naval vessels and coastal infrastructure. It is a high-tech solution to maritime safety that is both simple and permanent.
A truly remarkable step forward in material science. Thank you for joining us for this update.
Thank you.
Good morning. Today, we are looking at a significant development in the world of high-tech computing. Scientists have proposed a new way to power quantum computers using quantum batteries.
That is right, Alex. Researchers from Australia and Japan have designed a system that places these batteries directly inside the computer's processing unit. This could solve one of the biggest problems in quantum science.
For our listeners who may not know, what is that main problem?
Currently, quantum computers are very difficult to scale up. They require extreme cold to function, and traditional electronics create too much heat. This makes it hard to pack more qubits, the basic building blocks of these computers, into a small space.
So, how does this new theoretical architecture change things?
The researchers suggest using a unique quantum effect. In this design, as the battery grows, its charging speed and capacity actually increase faster than its size. It is much more efficient than any battery we use today.
It sounds like these batteries do more than just provide power.
Exactly. They also act as a heat sink. They can capture excess heat and recycle it back into energy. According to the study, this could allow scientists to fit 4 times more qubits in the same area.
That is a massive leap forward. If this works, it could speed up discoveries in medicine and new materials.
It certainly could. While this is still a theoretical model, the math shows these batteries are nearly 100% efficient. In the global race for technological leadership, many experts call this the holy grail of power systems.
It is a fascinating step towards moving these machines out of the lab and into the real world. Thank you for that clear analysis, Jamie.
You are very welcome, Alex.